Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
Well, another North London derby in the history books. Let me know you guys can hear me okay. And apologies to our viewers who usually tune in on Facebook. Apparently, we are not streaming on there right now. It seems like StreamYard lost connection, but don't worry. I'm sure you'll be catching up on replay and all of those wonderful things. Wow. Hello, squaddies. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in this wacky world. And please do follow our Chief Like Officer Tammy's instructions. Hit the like button. PW, Galimera, Terence, indeed, what a win. And we're going to get stuck into it. Trev, Ola, Carol, good afternoon. It is a good afternoon, isn't it? Rich, good evening, Sophie and Squaddies. I'm in heaven. Yes, actually in Vietnam. Very fancy. I likey. We have world travelers here at Squad Central. It is 8:03 a.m. for me. Hello, BX Gunner. And I am very tired because it's a bit of a derby weekend for me. So yesterday I was at the LA Galaxy LAFC game, which was wild and wacky. 2 goals in 8 minutes for LAFC. I got to see Olivier Giroud play. And then in the second half, LA Galaxy scored 4 goals. Derby number 1. Derby number 2 was my sweetheart's school, college, the Colorado Buffaloes playing against Colorado State. This rivalry has been going on since the 1800s. We won that one too. And then today, my Arsenal Football Club, the Gunners. Yes, this North London girl, born and bred in Palmer's Green, aka Palmer's Greek, is absolutely delighted. This is the derby result of all results for me this weekend. And let's dissect it, shall we? Because I was getting messages from my Spurs supporting friends and family saying, in fact, I'm going to read one to you. I'm not going to say who it is, okay, but let's just get stuck into this. Arsenal are playing anti-football, so much time wasting. Cry me a river, as Justin once sang, cry me a river. Arsenal are damned if they do, and they're damned if they don't, right? If we go out gung-ho, remember the Wenger days? Oh, we'll just play football, champagne football, and concede 8 goals, right? It's like going to the Etihad last year where we got a point and everyone was talking about how we bottled it in terms of going for it. We lost 2 of our best players ahead of this game. Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard were not available, right? And we are being accused, and I don't know what the pundits are saying out there, etc., etc. But when you lose the master, that is Monsieur Odegaard. I don't know how to say Monsieur in Norwegian, but someone might help me. We dealt with it. And folks just hate that we probably dealt with it. So we played a fantastic game of football. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you guys. Let's talk about this, right? Because part of me with my WhatsApp group was saying, oh my God, Partey's so bad. Jorginho can't even control the tempo of the game because Partey's just giving the ball away. I think in the first half, we did a lot of that. But you'll know a lot about a football team and a manager after halftime. And I believe that we wanted to come out, be pragmatic, and try and steal a goal with, as I was on Chris Cowlin's show, Tottenham fan this week, expose their high line, right? And we did all of that. And I don't care about people thinking we were boring. This was a George Graham-esque type performance and victory. And Paul Buckle told you guys on the show, this is why I love Paul. He said, Soph, when you have a defense like Arsenal do, you just need one goal. And tell me, and the Generation Xers and baby boomers in the chat will know that's the George Graham way. And people who've compared Mikel to Arsene Wenger, no, 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 no. He is much more George Graham. Super Kev always used to say to you guys, he's closer to George Graham than Wenger. And this was a classic textbook, old school Arsenal, George Graham, 1-0 to the Arsenal victory. Wait for your moment, take it, make it count, and then defend and believe in your defense. And what I like is that there were players in the first half that did not play well. Benjamin White was giving the ball away. Thomas Partey was giving the ball away. Unfortunately, Jorginho was unable to kind of put his foot on the ball because we were giving the ball away. In the final third, we were being cheap. We were not as concise. And I think that there were opportunities. David Raya stepped up and saved us again. Martinelli had an opportunity. He should have passed it. We want him to look up more, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But when you see adjustments and you see how we then play in the second half and the way that we played together as a team, more compact, kept the ball well, distributed the ball better, waited for the moment, didn't try and grasp at those moments. To me, it felt like really good adjustments and a great team talk at halftime. And, this is a North London derby. It's not a joke. And I felt that we were superior. They're not a good team. I don't care. When we say we're scared or we're afraid, it's hot here and I don't know why I put a beanie on, for fuck's sake. When we say we're scared, it's the fear of losing, not the fear of the opponent. And those two things are very different. You just don't want to lose to them. And when you see the team sheet and the game starts and everything's flowing and you feel like, oh, here we go with another referee that could potentially be against us, booking Saliba, all of that type of nonsense stuff. It's the fear of the game versus the opponent. 7 yellows. I think it's the most yellow cards in a first half in any game. And that is what puts the fear in you. It's not believing in your team. It's not believing in the officials being fair. And it's the fear of the North London derby. And Hertzie loves that perspective. I didn't fear them once in this game. I just hope that we didn't make mistakes to gift them. And then I hope that we managed the process of the referee in a really mature way. And I think that we did that in the second half. Because you could see where this was going, right? It was 7 yellow cards in the first half. The referee, I don't know what's happening. There were 14 yellow cards in I can't remember what game it was. What game was it? Well, not Man United. What was the game, the late game? The Chelsea game. Referees trying to be the superstar of the moment. I actually sent a tweet to my good friend Elliot from Arsenal Vision, who was complaining about the refs. And I said, look, we got to stop complaining about this. We got to move on. And then today I sent him a message saying I'm back in. Because it's just ridiculous. But what I love is this, what you're seeing on screen. Jurriën Timber walked away from this situation knowing he had been booked. But what happened? Trossard and Havertz got involved. And this is what you want. You can't intimidate us. You can't control us. And we're going to stand up to you. And I loved once again how we as a team collectively protect our own. We saw Benjamin White do it when he kicked the ball at the Brighton player, I think it was. This is what we need to do. If you want to win the Premier League, you've got to get ugly and you've got to be pragmatic. And I had a ton of texts today from my Tottenham relatives and friends. Arsenal are playing anti-football, wasting time. Oh, we can't even get our foot on the ball. Shut up. Seriously. Be quiet. That game was managed exquisitely, superbly. And you know what? I've got to be honest with you, because I had prepared like a first half report, a second half report. And in the first half, I was going to be like, Thomas Partey, what's he doing? He's giving the ball away. Martinelli, what's he doing? Da-da-da-da. But the way Partey adapted in the second half, he and Jorginho were the unsung heroes today, because all they needed to do was protect the back line. And they did that brilliantly. And Trossard and Martinelli, and by the way, Trossard, who's been criticized for not tracking back, Martinelli, who has been criticized going forward, and rightly so, I think, and we'll get on to that, but they were as part of the line of defense as anyone in that team today. And so when you look at how to win a football game, I don't care what anybody says. And as I said, Arsenal are damned if they do and they're damned if they don't. I don't give two hoots about what they say. Our goal today was to get 3 points without two of our best players, without two of our summer marquee signings. And last season, we missed out on seeing a marquee signing, okay? And let me tell you something. This guy is legit. Jurrien Timber. If Gabriel Magalhaes had not scored the winning goal, this guy would be the player of the match. I thought he was brilliant. And I know we've talked about what do we lose going forward when Zinchenko can't connect play and pass the ball and move the ball quickly. This guy today showed guts. He showed determination, fearlessness, and he thrived in the cauldron of a North London derby. He was absolutely amazing. For me, this was his coming out party. Not party. He was yes, calmness. Timber was amazing. Timber was the best player. Timber was the best player on the pitch. He really stood up, was a leader, and he was as solid as oak, says Cross Jonky. Unbelievable. Man of the match for Patrick. Let me circle back upstairs here and get some of your quotes in, because I'm sick and tired of this. You know, certain teams are lauded for putting in a defensive display. And I've seen, don't believe, don't buy the hype, don't click the bait, don't do any of that. It's all horse shit. We put in an amazing, you could see, right, that we worked on this. This was an image from the first half that they showed on NBC. Oh, and funnily enough, there was a quote here from someone. Shit, I can't find it now. But this was one of the pundits talking about the first half, right? Were we playing a 4-4-2? I mean, I loved our line of defense, and all we were waiting for was an opportunity to go forward and find. And in the first half, we weren't exactly able to do that. We couldn't expose the high line. And by the way, in the first half, I didn't think their high line was as high as it usually is. Thanks, Hertzy. NBC said it was the first time in 36 years Arsenal managed 3 consecutive wins versus Spurs. Epic. 100% epic. And, you know, sometimes it's not about sexy football. Sometimes it's about going 4-4-2. I don't know if you guys remember, but when Mikel Arteta was struggling a couple of years ago, David Hillier and Super Kev on this show said, I'd like for him to just adopt a 4-4-2. Be pragmatic, play it safe, utilize the opposition setup and try and hit a team on the break. But in the second half, we made adjustments and we bided our time. And a lot of the time, teams get credit for that. But when we do it, well, we're anti-football. I'd rather be anti-football all day long and win the Premier League. This win was massive. How many people did you hear saying, right, before today's game, oh, if Arsenal lose to Tottenham and then they lose to City, they're out of the race. Screw you. We're not out of the race. We're in the race. And you know what we've done today by beating Tottenham? We've added belief that we could go to City and get a result. And last season, we went there and we got a result. We were our own worst enemy, losing to West Ham, dropping 6 points to Aston Villa, and dropping points to Fulham. But maybe year on year, we're seeing a progressive maturity. The improbable season, we collapsed. We got to admit that. Last season, we beat City, we beat Liverpool, we got a point away against both of them, but then we dropped points where we shouldn't have. Hopefully, we've learned from that this season. This result is massive when these two games have come so early in the football calendar in the Premier League. And by the way, that lot up there, their hearing starts tomorrow. Love you too, Matty K and the squad. Let me get some of your comments in. 221 of you in live chat. I want to get as many of your comments in as possible. This is a very important point from PW. David Raya, and you know I'm super honest. I was on TalkSport earlier today talking about how I was not an early adopter of Mikel Arteta. Our regular listeners know I couldn't see it. You know, I just didn't. But since the season where we failed to qualify for the Champions League, where we lost 3-0 to the Antonio Conte team, where Rob Holding got sent off, I have said, you know what? This team's got guts. We lost that moment and we didn't qualify for the Champions League, but you could see something brewing. And since then, I've been well into Mikel Arteta and what he's trying to build at the Arsenal. And as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Ramsdale, I have huge respect for the Ramsdale family. And we questioned how that came to be. But let me tell you, David Raya deserves his flowers. And I gave him his flowers last season, but then I also gave him a crown after the Porto penalty shootout in the Champions League. I thought that was a seminal moment for David Raya, where the fans fell in love with him. And in a big game like this, in a North London derby, the two saves he made early on in the second half, they keep you in a game and they build confidence. And that defense, the relationship they have with each other, the trust that they have with each other is really quite incredible. And David Raya has been one of our best players this season. He's been absolutely sensational. He has a command of his area the same way Alisson and Edison do. And you have to take your hat off once again to Mikel Arteta. I love being wrong. There's nothing more I love than being wrong. And I said that to Max Rushton and Barry today on TalkSport, because if I'm wrong, the manager's right. And sometimes, you know, I could be right and wrong. But I love being wrong when he's right, because it means the team succeeds. That's why he's got a new contract and he's being paid the money he has. And I'm sitting here talking to you guys. But as fans, this is what we do. We dissect, we discuss, and we share our opinions. David Raya has been the Don this season. And it all starts with the back. And Paul Buckle, again, I'll remind you, said, you can win 1-0 with that defense. And I think we're at that point where we've got that George Graham-esque vibe. 1-0 to the Arsenal. We don't need to do anything flashy. We want to win the league. Let everyone talk their nonsense. We don't want to play champagne football all the time. When I was on Chris Cowlin's show earlier this week, the Tottenham fan, he loves the idea of what Ange wants to do, but he knows they're never going to succeed playing that way at that level. And for us, you're seeing a maturation in Mikel Arteta's managerial toolbox. Who's my opponent? What do I need to do to walk away from here with 3 points? And people can call it anti-football. I give 0 Fs. Call it what you want. We'll call it 3 points. And that's all that matters. Gideon, yes. Elliot, big up Super Soap. North London is red. Absolutely. I know. Don't fear. Real Madrid were there. But you know what? Come on. He is so special, isn't he? He is so special. Vinny and Vesper agree with me 100%. But let me tell you something. As special as Saliba is, can we please start giving some major flowers to this guy? I know, Vinny, he's your favorite player. I'm about to give him his flowers. And Vesper, it's you. Okay, Vessi, you know what? You know why she's screaming at the top of her lungs? Because she wants her gift to come out and she wants you guys to hit the like button. All right? Hit it, like it, nut it, headbutt it. And Vinny's going to also give it a little bit of a smack. But they're very excited. They watched the whole game with me. I cheered, they cheered. I screamed, they screamed. But please, as important as Saliba is, it is time to give Big Gabby his flowers and respect. As you guys know, we have been massive supporters of Big Gabby on this show forever and ever and ever. And, you know, the commentators can all talk about how Vicario should have come out and protected his 6-yard area. Yeah, well, when you have a beast like Gabby, who actually crushed our new signing, Mikel Merino, in training, okay, you need to be prepared. Also, he did a similar thing in the game last year. He is so special, this guy. And despite the challenges that he and Mikel may have had at the start of last season, where he wasn't starting, he wasn't playing, there were all the rumors about Saudi and all that type of stuff, he's put his head down. He's never said anything negative. He's got to sit and watch Saliba get all of the credit all day long, all right? And he deserves his flowers. And when you see how Saliba celebrated with him, there's something special between these two. We've got to preserve this. We've got to absolutely protect it. Wrap it up in cotton wool, put it up on your windowsill, and protect it and nurture it for as long as possible. The vibes here are amazing. And you saw Saliba do a similar thing with Trossard, wanting him to celebrate because he was giving it like, you should be starting me. That's what I think. But the chemistry between these two is amazing. But Saliba always gets all the love. And today, this guy deserves all the love. He's a beast, all right? And he's the beast to Saliba's beauty. And this combination is the best we've had in, I don't know, I'm going to go back to 2006, 7. They are the best centre-back pairing in Europe. Don't at me. Don't deny it. This is one where I will stand and defend like Jon Snow in the episode of the Battle of the Bastards. And the way he rose for that header and buried it, I don't want to hear your tears about Vicario not defending his box. It was sublime. It was beautiful. And then the way we were able to hold on to the game and manage the game the way that we did was just brilliant. And when you have moments like this, players stepping up, unafraid, okay, sure, we risk the bookings and stuff like that. But the handbags at dawn today were brilliant. And here's what I had prepared for you, because as you guys know, I want to be super honest as I'm observing the game. So I had this slide prepared. Are we right to be worried about Martinelli? But what if Martinelli was asked to do something different today? There's one flaw he had in this game, and that was the pass to Saka. And Saka's not usually one to complain on the pitch, and he put his arms up and he was like, you missed me. thread that ball in, look up. That's the complaint. But I think we wanted Martinelli to be something different in this game. But Mikel Arteta wanted him to be what he wanted in this game. And if we're going on maybe what the manager was asking for, I think he had a good performance. If we're going on what we expect Martinelli to be, it's a performance where we start to question, has he reached his ceiling? Is this it? What's happened to him? He wasn't good last season and whatever. Yes, he needs to learn to pass quicker. Yes, he needs to learn to look up. But I said about 3 weeks ago, let him play out of his funk, right? Give him the opportunities, because we have enough good players around him to subsidize what he may or may not do. And he could have got a goal and he could have got an assist. Yes, Keith. But I also believe that everyone was asked to play a certain role today that may have been a little bit different than they're used to. And without Odegaard and without Rice, I think they rose to the occasion. I mean, look at this. That's a 4-4-2, kids. And you guys know I am not the expert at, tactics. But it was solid. It was a wall. Other than those first two opportunities in the first half, I didn't feel afraid or super threatened. And I tell you something, if everyone has a mascot like the Arsenal, can I just touch on this real quick? I know I'm digressing here a little bit, but this game started off brilliantly. This is our mascot. And let me tell you something. This kid wasn't having it. Handbags at dawn in the tunnel with the mascot. I absolutely love this. Whoever this child belongs to, congratulations to the parents. You're doing an amazing job raising this child. And he did set the tone, CAMPBELL. It was absolutely brilliant. No fear. Also, Callow, a little bit like Timber. I got you. Sure, I'm not scared of you. This kid was all on his own. Low man wolf. Our very own Jon Snow. Hope he gets the kudos that he deserves. Right, let me get stuck into some of your comments. Let's see. Let's do this, squaddies. Listen, do you want to just do, for me, if we're doing player ratings today, what do you guys think? Hey, Donna, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, he's taking too much heat. Timber is like Saliba. He doesn't panic. He's so good. He's so good. Our chief-like officer has to leave. Who's going to take her mantle? You can't leave, chief-like officer. Who's going to take her mantle? Maybe Carol or Terence. I don't differentiate between Gabby and William. They are a team, a defensive masterclass. It was brilliant, Brian, 100%. Gabby is the Bentley to Saliba's Rolls Royce. Is he a Bentley to the Rolls Royce, or is he a Ferrari? You know what I mean? Bit of an edge. Too close, Bentley and Rolls Royce. Always like Big Gabby. No, Sophie, Gabby didn't get his flowers last season. People very much acknowledge his quality. Okay, he rose like a salmon. I love that. Iron Man and the Hulk. Let's see what we got. Love the way he celebrates. Me too. I absolutely love it. And he deserves it. He deserves all of it. This is a great shot. I love this shot. Brilliant stuff. Man of the match. You know, had he not scored the goal, I think Timber would be my man of the match. Other than Benny Blanco, our defense was immense today. Wasn't the best for Benjamin. Didn't have the best game. I was about to ask where the love is for Big Gabby. Yeah, if the goal was by Saliba, I could imagine. Yeah, absolutely. Consecutive man of the match performance against them, Big Gabby. Big Gabby is the one who started this entire new Arteta defense. He's a beast. Γεια σου Σόφη μου. Yes, γεια σου Χάρης. Τι κάνεις? Ελπίζω καλά να είσαι. Gabby, lots of love. He's so underrated. Even the dog agrees. Correct. Magalash is my defender. Let's see. Sophie, this is just beautiful, apart from the normal stress. Let me tell you something. Once we scored, I just wanted the game to be over. Just blow the whistle. Yeah. Yanto stepping in for Tammy. Hit that like button. Please do hit that like button. We would really appreciate it. It helps the show. Yeah, and Donna, you're right. Despite the fact that Benjamin White did not have his best game, he did keep Son quiet. What did Son do in this game? At the very end, when I was begging the referee to blow the whistle in 95th minute, and Son ducked one, ducked two. I was like, oh no, please don't. But didn't do anything. Wasn't threatening at all. Didn't have, usually worried about Son, but he's not been great in the last 2 seasons. So yeah. Give the mascot a statue. I love that. All right, let's talk about this real quick, shall we? What do you think ratings-wise? Should we do this? Let's do this real quick, shall we? I'm going to give David Raya a 9. I don't feel he had too much to do in the second half, but I love how David Raya has become really vocal. He projects. Sweating like swine here. I wore the wrong clothes for this show. It's getting really humid here. Woof. I'm just excited, about winning this game. I will give Raya 9s, 9. Yeah, I thought he set the tone for what we could achieve in this match in that first half with those 2 saves. Benjamin White, I thought it was maybe his weakest game that we've seen in a while. Gave the ball away that could have been really deadly in the first half. Granted, he passed it and it came off an Arsenal play, but it wasn't the best pass to play, if we're being honest. So Benjamin White, for me, gets a 6. And thank you, Terence, keep those a 7. Keep those ratings coming in. Saliba, for me, I thought he was brilliant, honestly. And hello, so these referees, what are we going to do about them? When a club's going to actually step up and put a case forward for how ridiculous some of this stuff is? At first, I was like, oh no, Saliba on a yellow. This is not going to be good for us. He needs to be able to get stuck in and challenge. And again, another ridiculous decision. And I wanted to just put them in the rearview mirror and move on and talk about football. But the referees keep imposing themselves on the narrative. And it's getting old and it's getting tired. And there's too much at stake. And I take back everything I said to Yankee Gunner. I do. I mean, players get banned and players get reprimanded. And it is for the best league, supposed best league in the world. It is inept. I thought the officiating in the MLS game I saw last night was better. And that's unacceptable. For me, Saliba gets an 8. I thought that there was a tackle in the was it the first or the second half? I think it was the second half that he made. It was just, the dude is unbelievable. Protect him at all costs. Fend off Real Madrid. Please don't let this happen, Arsenal. Pay him what he wants. I'll chip in. We'll start a GoFundMe. Whatever he wants, give it to him. All of it. Every single cent. Big Gabby gets a 10. He scored the winning goal in a North London derby. So he deserves an absolute 10. I'm not sure if you agree or disagree with me, but let those teeth shine. Let that smile glow. You deserve an absolute 10. Kalispera, Harvey. I'll keep putting your marks up as well. Timber, for me, gets a 9. Thought he was brilliant. Tenacious, aggressive, measured. I thought the booking he got was a little harsh. Seemed like he had put his foot on top of the ball and then met the player, but we are now seeing what we were missing last season. And I know we talked about how do we miss that connectivity going forward. I'd rather have this and win the league than the risk. And you guys know I'm a Zinchenko fan, but Timber is the man. And Calafiori that will be great competition when Calafiori is fit and ready to go, because Timber was brilliant today. We've got nines. We've got a 10 for Saliba. Benjamin's given the whole team scores right there. Check them out. We've got a 7, an 8, a 10, an 8.5, 10 for Big Gabby, 10, 11 for Timber. Look at you guys going off the Richter scale. 10.5, 9, 10. Brilliant stuff. 9.75, 11. Yeah, I think today nobody gets below an 8 for me. Or did I just give Benjamin a 7? See? Just contradicting myself. I give Thomas Partey and Jorginho 8. They had a thankless task today, operating without Rice and Odegaard, knowing Partey played 90 minutes in both of his international games. Jorginho, we know, hasn't been utilised. Has he been utilised at all this season? And at the end of the game, when he was talking to Mikel, I truly believe they were talking about, oh, yeah, mate, I was exhausted. Whew. Well done for sticking it out there for me. Thank you very much. I thought they did a great job in the second half. First half was about managing the game, don't make mistakes, and, don't concede. And in the second half, I thought that they stepped into the match, had more command of the midfield, and they did a really good job of managing the process as the game evolved. They get an 8 for me. And I'm going to be honest again. At the beginning, I was ready to rip Partey apart because I thought it was cheap giving the ball away. But let the game marinate. Let your opinion marinate. And I thought the two of them did really, really well. Yes, hit the like button, please. Saka, he had a very quiet North London derby, didn't he? Let's be honest. He has been the shining star in these matches, and today was not his day, but he grinded, he worked hard. He took a little bit of a knock at the end. The away kit for me, I thought was going to jinx us. There, I said it out loud. I didn't want to say it before the game, but I did on Chris's show, and I was really afraid of this black away kit. And then, I said to myself, stop it. We're not going to win or lose a game because of a kit we're wearing. But that's not how football works or how fans think, right? So I thought we were going to be jinxed. But it wasn't Saka's best game, but he still had an assist. I mean, it was did it again last season, did he? Even when he's not having his best game, right? Even when he's not having his best game, this guy shows up. And I was lauding him on TalkSport earlier. His maturation, the way he puts this team on his shoulders in the past. Now he's got a supporting cast. How he consistently plays over and over again for England, for Arsenal. He's an unbelievable athlete. And we are so lucky to have him. And I love Saka. And I just think that what he brings to this team is so unique and special. And he needs to be protected at all costs. So we got 7, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5 for Saka. I'm beginning to really like the new black kit. Me too. 8 for Saka. 9 and an 8 from Patrick for Jorginho and Partey. He got an assist on the corner. You're correct. 8 for Saka for the assist. Saka missed. He did. But I thought, again, when we needed him to deliver a great ball, he did it. Saka 7, 7 for Partey and Jorginho 7, 7.5s. Yes. Give Nicholas a 10. Old school 1-0 to the Arsenal. We love it. Jorginho surprised with his fitness level. He did really good. J20 and Partey did a great job. But we did miss them. And you know what, though? We've shown that we can survive. Now against Manchester City, we'll talk about that in the week and how we're going to do that. Lone Star Londoner. Don't ever doubt this Arsenal team. Injuries happen. Get over it. We were tested today. I don't care. Everything changes when it's a derby. And we were super tested today against the atmosphere, the moment, the occasion, not the team necessarily. We just had to make sure we managed the occasion the right way. And the whole team absolutely did get it. Martinelli for me, listen, like I said, I'm going to be honest with you. I had this, where is it? Right here. Worried about Martinelli slide. But then as the game evolved and I digested it, I thought that he protected um, his turf and probably executed what Arteta wanted to versus what we wanted to see. And he'll have plenty of time to shine, Martinelli. So for me, he gets a solid 7 just because of how he hustles defensively. And I think, we're going to see him grow into the season. And the fact that we have a player like him who hasn't shown his best, but is still performing and helping the team versus being detrimental to the team, I think that's really important. Kai Havertz is a beast. I love the guy. If you haven't fallen in love with Kai Havertz already, I don't know what to say. He doesn't get any respect for what he does off the ball. His physicality is something we have lacked in this team since maybe Olivier Giroud up front. I saw Giroud play last night. Hit the crossbar, by the way. He is so underappreciated. And I love Kai Havertz and what he brings to the team. I think he's become one of our most important players. And I hope that you don't deny that or you don't poo-poo that. He is so fundamentally critical to the positions he takes up, the physicality of it all, his touches, his intelligence, how he takes players away, that creates spaces. I love this guy. And yeah, he's King Kai. So for me, Havertz he does need to be talked about. He's always everywhere. And I love him too. Havertz reminds me of Smudger a little bit. Yeah. Havertz 8, Bossard 9. Hold up beast. He's brilliant. Havertz 8. Fight, fight, fight. Vespa wants to have her say again. Havertz an 8.5. We got an 8.5 here. King Cobra Kai. Brilliant stuff. Trossard, I was a little bit worried about in the first half again, admittedly, in being honest. But I thought, again, he came into his own. A lot of people thought that he was going to take up the Martin Odegaard role. But when you look at the setup in the first half in particular, there was a lot of protective play. And again, just utilize the opportunities that come to you on the break. And we were very disciplined. And a lot of the creative players, I'm sure, wanted to just unleash the beast within. But they stayed disciplined. They kept to whatever the plan was. And I think that shows a lot of maturity in this side. They're learning how to win games. What they have to learn is not lose to lesser sides. And I think that's really important. 6, that's not his position, really. Well, he had to adapt today, and I thought that he did really, really well. I thought he did really well. I think I've hit everyone right in terms of the starting 11. And then when you see this, thanks to AFC_capital for this image, Jesus and Sterling coming off the bench. Things are okay. Now, again, we've got Manchester City, Partey and Jorginho in the midfield against Manchester City. I'm not sure about that one, but we're going to discuss it on tomorrow night's show as well, Monday Madness with a special guest. Look out for the announcement for that. It might be different. It's going to be different. We have to tackle that differently. We know about their midfield. We know how superior they are. But to see when our bench was a little scary today, if we're being honest, right? When you saw who was on the bench, young players on the bench. It was great to see Waneri get that cameo role to come on. But Mikel has faith in them, and I have faith in Mikel. So I'm going to trust that they were ready to come in and play, that they were prepared for this all week. But to see these two come off the bench, by the way, Jesus' new hair, you want to rate that? I like it. I think it suits him. He wears it a lot better than David Beckham ever did. Rice is back for City, correct. We will fight. Jesus, Sterling, Waneri, Calafiori, Maldini on the bench. See, you guys make me feel better already. 5 and 5. I mean, they really didn't have enough time to show what they could do, right? Let me answer this real quick. I'm on a live show, cousin. I'll call you back. I'm talking to the squaddies right now. Can't wait to talk to you about the game. How about that? Unbelievable day out. Can't wait to hear about it. Bye. That's my cousin George. An unbelievable day out. As many Arsenal fans have had an unbelievable day out. This is what we want. There's 2 fixtures every season that you never want to lose, and it's against Tottenham. And we went to theirs again this season without 2 of our best players, without our 2 marquee signings of the summer, with injuries to Zinchenko, with a player like Jesus coming back, and we were able to take 3 points, and that is what matters. So for me, the team performance, especially in the second half, was professional, mature, dogged. They absolutely mastered the art of the 1-0 win. And I thought it was brilliant. And, you know, Mikel Arteta's rating, he deserves for me a 10 today. He managed the process brilliantly. He didn't take too many risks, even though it felt like Partey, Jorginho together in midfield was a risk because of maybe the lack of pace. But he believed in their football intelligence. He believed in their quick-thinking football minds. And Jorginho stepped up with the captain armband today as well and did exceptionally well. And so, hi, cuz. Hello. Should have put him on speakerphone. I was worried he was going to kind of get into stuff that we shouldn't really talk about on the show. A renegade. We're talking about someone who just bought a motorcycle and, you know, not saying it's midlife, but I'm just saying, you know, a bit of a renegade. Who knows? I'll share more stories with you tomorrow. Mikel gets a 10. Mikel gets a 9.5 from Mark. Let's see. What else you got? We need 3 points next week. We do. But even if we get a point next week, it is Yorgos. 10, 10, 10. Sterling and Jesus were running like crippled. What? Oh, come on. Evgeny? I don't agree with that at all. We didn't miss anyone because we won the game. No negativity today. I refuse to accept it. I accept your opinions, but I'm not having comments like they look like they were walking around crippled and things like that, running around. Absolutely not. How long has Jesus been out? Sterling is coming from an... Remember, don't forget what Mikel Arteta did with Kai Havertz. He came a broken player from Chelsea. Chelsea breaks players. This new Chelsea. So I'm not having that. No negativity today. We won 1-0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, the greatest stadium in the whole world. How many times did you hear that? Hope you didn't take a shot every time you heard it because you'd probably be drunk on your ass right now. We won the game and we did it with adversity, without some of our best players. And we walked away with 3 points. And that's what matters. It's a Tony getting stuck in now. It's getting irritating her whenever she hears. She's like, how many times are they going to tell us it's a palace? Vinny, Vesper and Tony getting involved in the game today. I'll tell you what you should get involved in is this auction ends on the 16th. That's tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. All right. Football prizes. You can win 2 tickets. Hospitality. Arsenal versus Leicester in the Premier League. And also 2 tickets, which is a trophy I want to win in the Carabao Cup. I want to see the young stars shine against Bolton. And then you have 14 opportunities to enter into winning other prizes as well. But if you want to be sitting fat and pretty On Saturday, the 28th of September, 3 p.m. kickoff, Arsenal v Leicester, $3.95 could see you enjoying a day that costs $3,095. And then you could also be enjoying hospitality in the Carabao Cup as well against Bolton. I would love to see us do well in that. So please go to footballprizes.co.uk and follow at Football Prizes on the old social sphere. All right. I want you guys to win, 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 just like we did today. Win, win, win. That's all I've got for you. I think it's been brilliant. Hospitality experience with Jags. A professional and mature performance. We fear no one. So difficult to win after the international break. Just ask Liverpool. Listen, you see what happened to Liverpool at home? 1969, Nottingham Forest. They hadn't won there since 1969. Tammy's back. Hey, they stepped in for you big time. I had a clear game plan. Then news, we lose a player. The more news, we lose another player. I had to change everything. Thank you. Hertzy, I'm going to put you in charge of the Arteta quotes post-game. Thank you for sharing that. I said it. Had to adapt. And you know what? He's adapted well, and he deserves credit for that. And yes, Tom, 10 for Mikel Arteta. Please do hit the like button. It costs you nothing. It's absolutely free. And Vinny and Vesper will also be delighted if you could do that. Vesper has now moved on, and her favorite goalkeeper is David Raya. Here she is channeling her inner Raya. And Mr. Guy in his bow tie, paying homage to the great one, of course. So please do hit the like button. Please share the show with your friends. I will be back for Monday Madness tomorrow night. I hate to leave all of you in live chat when we're just cooking, but I've just realized we've been chit-chatting for 52 minutes. And it's been 52 minutes well spent. Our team played well. They rose to the occasion. Mikel Arteta had to adapt. Gabriel scored from a set piece. Saka gets another assist. We had to overcome the adversity of losing some fantastic players. And we had to do all of that under the lights or the daylight of the North London derby. 3 points, Gooners. That's all that matters. 3 points. Thank you so much. Zivania for me. I think I deserve it today. Absolutely. We beat the Spuds. This is glorious. Go enjoy your day. Go enjoy your night. Bragging rights until the next time we beat them at the Emirates too. Until then, squaddies, thank you so much for joining. Thanks for tuning in. Please do hit that like button on the way out. Don't forget to get your ticket, Football Prizes. Please visit footballprizes.co.uk and you will not be disappointed because they are absolutely brilliant at what they do. And you could enjoy memories of a lifetime, hanging out with your mates, drinking champagne and eating good food. Today is a champagne day for the Arsenal. Squaddies at ease. I love every single one of you. Please do not forget to tell your loved ones that you love them. And until tomorrow night, Monday Madness, at ease, squaddies at ease. Go torture some Tottenham fans. Bosh.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.